Hey, it's Matt Moscona. You found it. It's AFR LSU, your home for daily content on your favorite team, Fighting Tigers of LSU. And we're proud to be presented by BetUS, where this football season, get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000. Be sure to use the promo code YouTube150. Now, enjoy the video. All right, y'all, every Tuesday we visit with Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Shady, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
Hey, I'm doing awesome, by the way. Congrats. Big news over at On 3. Saw our guy Jarrett Roser and, of course, Julie Boudouin. Super talented recruiting reporters joined the staff. What can you tell us about the good news?
Yeah, both of them. I mean, everyone, I think, who follows the LSU beat and certainly recruiting, remember them from starting out at the Times-Picayune and then NOLA.com, and they were both at Rivals for a bit, and now both over at the Bengal Tiger with us. And I couldn't be more happy. Look, these are two of the nicest people that I've ever met on the beat, and with that comes hard work, dedication. Julie is one of the more respected names out there when it comes to recruiting sites, what she did at Rivals, and then Jarrett is, I don't think there's anyone out there, I'd put my money on him, covering Louisiana high school football as in-depth and as well as he does, with just a passion for it. So we're excited. Everybody that's a member of the site's excited. So you can never get enough Louisiana football or football recruiting coverage for LSU. So figured why not just ramp it up.
Well said, man. Great team over there at On 3, the Bengal Tiger. We appreciate you for being with us here every Tuesday for some tidbits. Let's start with, man, what was a busy weekend with two 2027 quarterback offers going out, Elijah Haven and Colton Nussmeier. Let's start with, let's just go chronologically and start with Elijah Haven.
Yeah, in total, gosh, I think it ended up 4 or 5, a wave of them. But Haven got the first one. No shocker here, the number one quarterback early on in the country. I think, look, when you rank them this early, guys are just starting a sophomore year, they'll be shuffling, but he'll be a top 5 type prospect, I'm certain of it, by when he's a senior. And look, he's been great at Dunham already as a freshman. Sloan and then the staff have been out plenty to see him play, watched him play basketball. He's been to campus plenty. And every guy that got offered this past weekend, it kind of all happened in one swoop across Friday to Sunday, threw for LSU and Joe Sloan at camp this summer. So, a wave of offers in 2027. These guys are young. They're sophomores. Right now, their current commit, Bryce Underwood, is in this 2025 class, but that 2027 group just has so many guys in it. I mean, you mentioned right there, the younger brother of the starting quarterback and a kid who goes to school 5 miles from campus, are two guys who got offered. So, deep class, and I think that Sloan thought, hey, let's go ahead and get some offers out there and see how the dominoes fall.
Shea, what is the report on Colton Nussmeier? Very clearly, he's a highly touted guy. That this isn't just an offer being doled out because he's a legacy.
No, and he's got some height to him. I mean, he's a joke. He's got a few inches on Garrett, but when he was out at summer camp throwing, and Garrett was there and his dad was there, Doug, and I said, I can see you're taller than Garrett. Doug, do you want to go back to back? And he laughed. He said, nope, not doing that anymore. So we're talking about a big kid, but a lefty. So think of Nussmeier in reverse there, a Nuss who throws it left-handed, but has picked up a ton of offers. So not surprised to see him grab one out of Marcus, which is where Garrett went and played and set plenty of records. But, again, he was part of a wave of, like I said, I think 5, and not surprising that he's one of them. He's got double-digit offers. He's going to sign it, if not LSU, a very good school somewhere and be one of the top 10 quarterbacks in this cycle.
We'll get right back to the video, but of course, by now, thrilled to tell you about our friends over at BetUS, who've been a great partner of ours here on AFR LSU this football season. They're continuing to offer you this amazing deal, a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your next two deposits, up to $2,000 if you're sports betting. Why wouldn't you take advantage of these amazing offers make sure you use the promo code YouTube150. All the info is right here on the screen or on that screen. I'll show you again just how easy BetUS is to use. You go to the website. Let's pull up football on the college football page. Since there's no LSU game this week, maybe at the top we could look at the NCAA championship odds. I think there's tons of value right now with Georgia coming off a loss. When are you ever going to get Georgia at plus 650 to win the national championship? That's worth a flyer. $25 to win 162. Yep, I'll take that bet. Confirm it, and we are locked in. Let's see if the Georgia Bulldogs at the end of the season might rebound. Make us a little bit of money. It's that easy to use BetUS. And make sure you're using that promo code YouTube150 for a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit, 125% on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. Use that promo code YouTube150. Now, enjoy the rest of the video. Who else were the notable offers for 27 that went out over the weekend?
I think probably the most notable other one would be Peyton Houston up at Evangel, who's had a really good start to his year at Evangel and across these first few weeks. And I think he's already over 1,000 yards passing. So he picked up his offer. Obviously, now you've got 2 offers out in state. And still another really good quarterback over at Benton and Malachi Ziegler, who is starting for the first time this year, but is a guy I think that could be in line for an LSU offer at some point. And then the other, Trey Taylor, I think is pretty notable given he's one that Joe Sloan had been on just as hard as these other guys. He's been up to Illinois to see him. Taylor came down and camped and has just expressed a lot of interest. So, look, that's so far away, but I also think that you get a lot of these offers early just in case you have to take 2. You just never know what the quarterback dominoes will look like by the time, 2 more years of college football pass.
Shea, what about it's interesting because we know Bryce Underwood's there for 25. You've handed out here a slew of offers for 27. What about quarterback for the 26 class? What does that look like for LSU?
They chased. Look, Sloan had the top guys, like for instance, Faison Brandon, who's committed to Tennessee now. Had visited LSU multiple times. Sloan had been out to see him play and been to his school. So they were shooting for the stars. I think that you'll take somebody, right? You don't skip a high school quarterback class, but it does bring up the question that I think you at least have to acknowledge of who's ready to follow Bryce Underwood, which is he's going to go down as the highest rated recruit that LSU will have signed in the modern era. So from 2000 to now at any position, and it's quarterback, which is a position that you kind of got to wait in line for if you're not the starter. So I'm very, I'm interested to see how that plays out because I'm not shocked that we're talking more about the next class than we are the one that's right after Underwood.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, obviously, with Nussmeier after this season, and then the 2 guys behind him, the scholarship guys behind him, not including A.J. Swan, I'm talking about the scholarship signees with Ricky Collins and with Colin Hurley to see just how that room all plays out. But I agree with you, you can't skip a class. I mean, it's how you end up in a bind at quarterback. Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Shea, I would love to get your thoughts also on what happened late last week with Dave Portnoy. We talked about it here, but you just being plugged into recruiting circles, maybe just have a better or a different perspective on it. For those that don't know, the president of Barstool Sports said he was willing to pay $1 million to $3 million per year to make sure Michigan, his alma mater, landed a top-tier quarterback every year. And, of course, Bryce Underwood is in the state of Michigan. So what, if anything, do you make of what Portnoy had to say?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's funny. I was actually listening before I had seen it anywhere to the show, and not even all of it, and I'd gotten to that part. And right when he said, I'll give Michigan for the best quarterback, I was like, I'll 1 minute until they name Bryce Underwood, and then I'm going to have to go to the board and start answering questions. And then he made it very much a transfer thing, right? And, I'll just, whoever the best transfer is, I'll donate the money and all that. I think that him being public front-facing involved in that directly instead of just being an NIL donor of some sort is a line that Michigan probably doesn't want to cross, even more so. And he seems very serious here. He said he gets to pick the quarterback. I don't know a college coach in the country that's willing to put their job on the line for a booster to pick the quarterback. So as soon as I heard him say that, I said, this isn't going anywhere.
Okay. So,
or maybe he does, but if that's the reality, that's a transfer. That's, again, Underwood is in Michigan. He sees what they do there, and Underwood has said many times, I'm going to LSU because they develop players. We've already seen Michigan move on to Alex Orchie, who just runs the football. Like, they're not doing anything throwing-wise. And then you look at LSU, and that's what is the NCAA leader, tied for the lead with the TCU quarterback in completions, and then Daniels is out there setting the world on fire as a rookie, and I think Joe Sloan can say, hey, look, we're developing down here.
Yeah, man. Look, everybody's looking at it, though. It's a thing that bears mentioning. Shea Dixon's with us on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Shea, it was a busy recruiting weekend. Home games always are. Anything notable this past weekend with LSU hosting South Alabama on the recruiting front?
You know, it was a lighter crowd. They had a number of guys come in from in-state. A couple of the out-of-state commitments came in. Zion Williams from Texas, guys like that. But I will say this is interesting. This week, I fully expected them to go out on the road and all that. But what I forgot was they have 2 buys and not 1. And you're only allotted so many days on the road. So they're splitting it up a bit. They won't really be out on the road until later in the week, which is when they'll be able to see games as well. So that pays off. But they're out there this week practicing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So no rest for the weary there as they kind of continue. I guess you self-scout now. You kind of start to take a little bit of a peek ahead to Ole Miss. But this weekend, they will be hosting, and I believe it's 10 official visitors. All of them -1 are committed to LSU right now and just haven't taken their visits yet. But I'll say the intriguing one that I think we have to watch, because I think he's one of the very short list of candidates that might still sign with LSU. And I'll say quickly, they have 26 commits, Matt. They usually want 25 to 30. So do the math there. As a Catholic high grad, you can figure it out.
I was very bad at math.
I poked fun there, but I'll give you your praise. So the guy who's coming in that is uncommitted, well, I should say not committed to LSU, is Houston commit Jacob Bradford. He'll be taking his official, if all goes as planned, it's going to be this weekend. So maybe we'll see them. He's already got an offer, obviously playing and starting at Catholic as a safety. So did they make headway there in the push to get him out of that Houston class that Willie Fritz and them have loaded up on Louisiana guys that they had connections with over at Houston into LSU's class at some point between now and signing day. And LSU would certainly take him.
Shea, I know everybody is focused a lot on his younger brother, Blaine, who's the 5-star for the 2026 class. But when you look at Jacob Bradford, is that a guy that improves LSU's talent at safety, where Brian Kelly's been very open about it? It's just a spot where they have struggled mightily this year.
Yeah, I think that he certainly has the opportunity to do that as much as ever, Jace Thomas and Jim Coyley, who I think is a little bit bigger, could play some linebacker maybe down the line. But for me, they need to get to a spot where they develop guys. They don't need guys to have to come in every year and start. You don't want to be in a spot where Deshaun Spears, man, maybe we should put him out there and have him out there making mistakes, but let him at least learn on the fly, because it might be better. It's better than the alternative or whatever it is. When we saw these guys come through LSU and be great, yeah, a few started as true freshmen that went on to be great DBs, but a number of them developed over time and played some of their best football later in their careers. So I definitely think a guy like that is one that you would have out there, much like a Jordan Allen, starting every game for LSU before he got hurt this year, coming out of a really good LCA program. So I think you trust a smart player who's got some traits, who's played a lot of football and is well coached at a school like Catholic, that will come in and, do all the right things, develop and stick with the program, because that's what you're doing. You can go up to 105 scholarships now if you want to. You're not stuck at 85 anymore. So 1, add more guys. 2, in the portal area, you just have to take guys who you at some point don't think are just going to bail on you when they're not playing right away. And those are Louisiana guys. Those are border guys. Those are Baton Rouge kids. So I think those are the type of guys that are the perfect offers when you're trying to fill out a class late.
Shea Dixon, on 3, the Bengal Tiger. You'll get him on Twitter, X, at Shea Dixon. We always appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Talk to you next week, Matt.
Thanks so much for watching the video. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit the bell so you're notified when we post a new video, and remember to support BetUS, where right now you can get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. Be sure to use that promo code YouTube150.